This is He Knows His Sport, bringing you that heat and that fire. All right, I want to talk about this Porzingis trade. I don't like it, man. I'm gonna tell you right now. How you the New York Knicks and you're gonna sit there and get rid of your golden goose so that you could hopefully hope that Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving are gonna come to your team. That's some big wishful thinking. Matter of fact, that's double big wishful thinking right there. Because you don't know. I mean, there's just so many uncertainties with that. The bottom line is this: Kevin Durant, he's with the Golden State Warriors right now. They're on a tear right now, unprecedented tear to get a three-peat, possibly a 4 or 5-peat when it's all said and done. So why would he leave that scenario for an uncertain situation in New York, even if he's going to play with the likes of a Kyrie Irving? Here's what we know that are deficiencies in a tandem like that. First of all, Kyrie Irving is way more injury prone than a Stephen Curry. If you're going to play with the likes of a Kyrie Irving, you need to make sure you have a backup that's a above average backup that can do everything on the floor, that can be a floor general, that can score, and that could basically kind of be a utility man, so to speak. If you don't have that as a backup for Kyrie Irving, then I can't see those guys working together. Also, I just can't see them paired together on the same team. Also, you would need a wing defender, like a Jimmy Butler type. The question is, with Jimmy Butler being as erratic as he is, would he want to go there? I think he would, because he has spoken in high regards in the past of a Kyrie Irving and a Kevin Durant. So I could see that likelihood taking place. But my thing with this is, will it actually happen? Will it actually come to fruition? I just don't see it, because there's just too many uncertainties. But why get rid of Porzingis? Porzingis still has upside, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, he is your best player. Yeah, I get there was friction going on, you know what I'm saying, since he hasn't been playing as of late. But the thing with guys of that magnitude, of guys of that order, you have to give them a chance to heal up from their injuries and see what they can give you after the fact. I'm going to say that again. You have to give them the ability to heal up from their injuries and see what they can do after the fact. This situation is so completely different than the Kawhi Leonard situation, because with the Kawhi Leonard situation, it was more of them saying that, you know what I'm saying, he didn't have that stock in him to play while he was hurt. And they were questioning if he was hurt or not. And they were saying that basically, no, he was good enough to play. But he was like, no, I wasn't good enough to play. And I don't like the fact that they were questioning me. So he left. He requested a trade and he's no longer on that team. Fast forward, he's on the Toronto Raptors. It's not like that. With Kristaps Porzingis, there's beef there, but they didn't even give this man a chance to come back and show, why he's still Kristaps, the Kristaps of Porzingis of old, and why he still is a dominating force in the league. They didn't even give him that chance. They just had an issue with him. They had this recent spat with him. He hasn't been playing, and they're looking at the future of, oh yeah, we're going to get Kevin Durant, we're going to get Kyrie Irving. These two players must have told you something under the radar to guarantee you they're coming, which I don't see that happening, because these players, they waffle their decision every second. Because go look at what Kyrie Irving just said. He went from, I'm going to be extended to the Celtics, to now, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to do whatever is in my best interest, so to speak. And I'm just paraphrasing it, but, basically he just let the Celtics, he put the Celtics on notice that he's going to do whatever is in his best interest, so to speak. And then when asked the question about, what are you going to do for free agency? He said, ask me that question July 1st. That's a guy that you don't know what his decision is going to be up until the last minute, maybe even the last second. So if that guy's that erratic when it comes to that, how are you guaranteed that he's going to go play for the New York Knicks? That's just not making any sense to me. And how do we know under the table? Because I've heard Chris Broussard saying that, these players are tampering. I believe these players are tampering. I agree with him from that standpoint. Chris Broussard is an NBA insider. So I would never, go against what he has to say in that regard. You know what I'm saying? If anything, I'll defer to it because he's around these players. I'm not. But if there is tampering going on, like he said there is, why would the both of them tamper to go play for the Knicks and it's just the two of them? Because remember, If they both go play for the Knicks, what about the role players? Who they gonna have playing with them? Who do they have? The team that I see that's before me, that's not gonna work. You know what I'm saying? And who else is gonna be in the starting lineup that can be able to offset some of the weaknesses that both players have? See, there's a lot of questions unanswered. Who is going to be the coach for that team that's going to gain the respect of those players? A lot of questions unanswered. The Knicks, I'm not surprised that they made a decision like this because they're notorious for making the dumbest decisions in NBA history. I mean, shoot, they hired Isaiah Thomas as their basketball of operations. That right there in of itself tells you the level of foolery and just plum brain and brain full of mush stuff that this organization has done. And last time I checked, that owner, Mr. Dolan, his ass need to go. I'm sorry. He need to go. Because he has not done anything that has been good for that franchise. He needs to sell that team, man, and give it to somebody who's motivated and is ready to just turn things around in New York and is willing to see this franchise go from the fall from grace that they've gone through for so many years for them to rise, because they're a big market and they deserve to be, up there in the echelons with other teams. But I feel like in order for that to happen, they had to build more players alongside with Kristaps Porzingis, not get rid of Kristaps Porzingis. I mean, that's just ridiculous. Why would you do that, man? It just doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry, man. That's just, my brain is not computing this. This kid still has a lot of basketball skills, man. When you watch this guy play, man, I mean, it's unreal what he can do. He can do so many things good on the basketball court. And all because of some spat or some issues you guys got going on. It was just that bad. It was so much vitriol and so much hate between the two of you guys that you guys had to get rid of him right now. Come on, that's just not adding up to me. I'm sorry. Because if you would have had him, and then you're talking about getting Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving and possibly a Jimmy Butler, now that's a team right there. That's a team to be reckoned with in the East. That would automatically be what we call a sexy NBA team. I'm going to say that again. That's what we would call a sexy NBA team. And they would automatically be the number one team in the East. And they would just be living in the finals for like 3 years straight. Because the upside with that team would just be ridiculous. It'd be off the charts. But we're not talking about that because obviously they got rid of Kristaps Porzingis. And we're not talking about that because we don't know the certainty of these guys coming to play for that team. I just don't think this is a good look for the New York Knicks. I think it was a bad move on their part. But hey, kudos to the Mavericks because now Dirk Nowitzki gets to play with, his pupil. Because Porzingis looks up to Dirk Nowitzki. Dirk Nowitzki is his role model. So I think it's a win-win for them. But when it's all said and done, what did the Knicks really accomplish with this? So, and I say all of this to say that the Knicks, the New York Knicks, the Knickerbockers, get your shit in line and get your shit together because I don't know what you guys are doing over there. And you know what you guys get? The biggest higgity hush of the day. This is He Knows His Sport. Checking out.